I want to tell you something important today, something hidden in plain sight that most seniors are never taught to understand about their own blood pressure.
Your doctor looks at these numbers for just a few seconds, says everything looks fine, and then moves on without another word.
But hidden inside those two numbers are warnings about your heart, your brain, your kidneys, and your independence. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your blood pressure has been trying to tell you. This isn't about being scared of blood pressure, and it's not about adding more medication to your life.
This is about understanding what your body is already telling you every time you wrap that cuff around your arm.
When you learn how to read these patterns, you stop guessing and you start making sense of your health. And what you're about to learn could change how you look at blood pressure for the rest of your life.
The first warning most people miss has nothing to do with whether your blood pressure is high or low.
It's the distance between those two numbers that often tells the real story.
When arteries lose flexibility, pressure doesn't move smoothly. It hits harder with every heartbeat. This gap is called pulse pressure, and when it grows too wide, it deserves your attention.
In healthy adults, pulse pressure usually stays within a moderate range that arteries can comfortably handle.
When that range widens beyond what your arteries can manage, the strain quietly increases over time. This added strain doesn't just affect the heart, it influences how blood reaches the brain and other vital organs. If your pulse pressure regularly rises above 70, it's a sign worth discussing and understanding further. The second warning often surprises people because it focuses on the lower number, not the top one. When the bottom number drops too low, the heart may not receive steady support between beats.
The heart relies on that resting pressure to receive the blood it needs to stay strong over time.
If your diastolic pressure is often below 60, it's something worth reviewing and understanding carefully.
A low diastolic number becomes more meaningful when it appears again and again, not just once.
Over time, reduced resting pressure can quietly limit how well the heart is supported between beats.
This kind of strain often develops quietly, without obvious signals, which is why it's so easy to miss.
Healthy blood pressure is about balance, not just pushing numbers lower and lower. The third warning appears most often in the early morning, when blood pressure naturally begins to rise. For some people, that morning rise becomes much stronger than expected, even before the day truly begins. This early morning window is when the cardiovascular system becomes more active after rest.
When morning readings stay unusually high day after day, it's a pattern worth understanding more closely. What matters most is not one high morning reading, but the same sharp rise happening again and again. In the morning, your body shifts gears quickly, and that sudden change can place extra demand on the cardiovascular system.
When that rise becomes too sudden, the arteries experience more stress than they're designed to handle comfortably.
Paying attention to consistent morning patterns gives you far more insight than any single reading ever could.
At night, your blood pressure is meant to slow down and give your heart and blood vessels time to rest. For many people, that nighttime drop never happens, even though they feel completely fine.
When pressure stays high overnight, the cardiovascular system works without a break. How your blood pressure behaves during sleep can reveal information you won't see during the day.
A healthy night includes a natural dip in pressure, giving your heart and vessels a chance to recover.
When that dip doesn't happen, The system keeps working through the night instead of resting.
Over time, constant nighttime pressure can place extra demand on sensitive organs like the brain and kidneys. That's why nighttime blood pressure patterns are just as important as daytime readings. The fifth warning isn't about how high or low your numbers are. It's about how much they change from day to day. Large swings in blood pressure place extra strain on the body, even if average numbers seem acceptable. These repeated swings can quietly affect delicate vessels that depend on steady, predictable flow. Stability over time often matters more than any single reading taken in isolation. When readings jump widely from one day to the next, the body never fully adapts to a steady rhythm. Variability often reflects how the nervous system and daily routines interact over time. Over many years, repeated instability can affect how efficiently the brain's smallest vessels function. If your readings vary widely, it's worth looking deeper than the average number alone. The sixth warning is one of the simplest to check, yet one of the most commonly missed. When one arm consistently reads higher than the other, it's not random variation. A noticeable difference between arms can reflect changes in how blood flows through major vessels. That's why measuring both arms from time to time provides valuable information you won't get otherwise. What matters most is seeing the same arm difference appear again and again, not just once.
A consistent gap suggests that the blood is meeting different resistance as it travels through the body. These differences often reflect broader changes in the vascular system, not just in one arm.
When the difference is persistent, it's wise to discuss it further and understand what it means for you. The seventh warning appears when blood pressure that was once stable suddenly becomes difficult to control. When medications and routines no longer seem to work the way they once did, it's important to ask why. Sudden changes can reflect how organs like the kidneys respond when their usual balance is disrupted.
When blood pressure changes suddenly, understanding the cause matters more than simply chasing the numbers.
Sudden loss of control often signals that something in the system has changed and needs careful review.
Adding more treatment without understanding the cause can miss what the body is trying to signal.
Blood pressure reflects how multiple systems communicate, not just what happens in one place. When control changes unexpectedly, it's a signal worth exploring, not overlooking.
The final warning appears when several patterns show up together, not just one on its own.
When these signals align, the body is clearly asking for closer attention and understanding. Blood pressure is not a single number. It's a window into how your entire system is working together.
Understanding how these patterns connect gives you the clearest picture of what your blood pressure is really saying. Now that you understand these patterns, the most important step is knowing how to respond calmly and wisely. Good care starts with consistent habits, not sudden reactions or unnecessary worry. Taking your readings at the same times and writing them down turns numbers into meaningful information. When you notice changes early and ask the right questions, you give yourself the best chance to stay well.
You've just learned that blood pressure isn't one number to fear, but a message your body sends when it needs attention.
When you look at patterns, notice changes, and stay consistent, you move from guessing to understanding your health. Simple habits, done regularly, often make the biggest difference over time.
When you understand what your blood pressure is saying, you are better equipped to protect the life you enjoy.
The goal isn't to worry about every reading, but to protect your independence and confidence as you age. Paying attention early allows you to make thoughtful decisions, not rushed ones. Bringing clear questions to your appointments helps turn conversations into meaningful guidance.
Awareness gives you strength, clarity, and the ability to stay engaged in the life you value. If you found today's explanation helpful, this is exactly what we do here on Health Hack Hive. By subscribing, you will continue learning how to understand your body and make informed choices over time. Liking and sharing helps this information reach others who may benefit from it as well. If you're comfortable, share your experience or questions in the comments so we can keep the conversation going. My goal is to help you stay informed, independent, and confident in the choices you make about your health. Small, steady habits practiced over time often lead to the most meaningful results.
Thank you for being part of the Health Hack Hive community and taking time to learn with us today.
I'm Dr. Hart, and I'll see you in the next video.